Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. And now to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. Representing the three-time Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils, Arlette.
I feel I'm at a game. Oh my gosh. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Happy Devil Sunday! It's Sunday now. Is that right, Shorts Guy?
Yeah, this time it's Sunday. It's not Friday.
It's not Friday, but it's Sunday.
That Friday really screwed you up.
I know. It's a Happy Devils Sunday, July 2nd. It's about
long
2
weekend?
days. Yeah, long weekend. 4th of July, long weekend. It's actually a really long weekend for you, Shorts Guy, because you have the summer off.
Yeah, although I don't really. I got my business to run, man. I'm never off when you got your own business.
Oh, I know. Hey, speaking of your business, why don't you plug a little SG Apparel while you're at it?
Yeah, you can check out my website, sgapparel.bigcartel.com. I've got a bunch of Devils-themed T-shirts. I got a bunch of Red Bulls-themed stuff, too. Yeah, it was a hobby I wanted to pick up, and here it is a business now. I think it's awesome.
That's awesome, and you're going to be making a lot of T-shirts in the next 2 weeks. But this is the Let's Go Devils podcast with Sam Wu here with Shorts Guy. Beer Baron, he is on assignment. He's got a crying kid in the backseat of his SUV right now. So
yeah, that's never good.
It's never good, but that's the life of being a parent. But this is the Let's Go Devils podcast, brought to you by Molnar Roofing. Molnar Roofing, they were away for 2 weeks, but they'll be back tomorrow, back at work tomorrow on your roof. Molnar Roofing.
I actually crashed some of that Molnar roofing vacation.
Did you really? Did you actually go down to Wildwood?
I went down to Wildwood for a night to visit some friends who were staying in a condo, and while I was down there, the owner of Molnar Roofing, Stephen Molnar, was down there, and I crashed his party for a little bit.
I don't know a Stephen Molnar, but I know a Durango Steve. Do you know?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
yeah. It was fun. I got to see his family, a couple friends of his who are also friends of ours, and we had a good time on the boardwalk.
Oh,
that's what summer's about.
How are they doing right now?
They are all doing great. They were not on a beach which was closed.
Really?
Yes, Wildwood is a locally state-run beach, not a state-run beach. Therefore, it is open.
Oh, so there wasn't like that big guy in the middle of a public beach somewhere, right?
Nope.
Wow.
Wildwood's a beautiful beach, by the way. It's like a second home to me, so it's a great time down there.
Yeah, so I just want to welcome in Roger Vincent and Joe Stinson in the Facebook Live chat room on the Let's Go Devils group. You know we're expanding right now, Shorts Guy, right? You know that we're expanding. We're on Periscope right now. We have our own Twitter account.
Yeah. No, I know. We've been slowly expanding. We're slowly taking over the world.
And now we're on YouTube Live too. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. You did tell me that prior to the broadcast.
Well, also, I was looking at the stats. We had 57 views the last podcast on YouTube Live, and I don't think I've even checked it once. Maybe I should.
I love those analytics of all this. See how many people we have listening in and checking us out, because the number keeps growing and growing.
Well, speaking of analytics and numbers, have you seen how much money the Devils have spent during the offseason after July 1st? Is that a good segue?
That is a great segue, and I have seen how much money.
How much money has Ray Shero spent since July 1st?
A total of $5.1 million.
Now, is that for next year or just total?
Total. It's his contract's over 2 years, 5.1, 2.5, whatever that is per season. So a whole $5 million.
So Ray Shero spent, I don't know, $5 million in a big free agency splash that, by the way, I mean, he said it that he was ready to spend. Do you remember that during the draft?
I do.
He said he was going to spend, and I was expecting him to spend like a drunken sailor in the land for the first time. I'm disappointed.
We spent less than Pittsburgh.
Now, did that $5.1 million that I'm not going to fact check. I don't think you're doing a hashtag fake news right now, but, I mean, did that include dinner?
Did you verbalize hashtag?
Yes, I did.
Please don't.
I guess that's one of those Let's Go Devils podcast big no-nos. But to be honest, I don't know if it included dinner or not. $5.1 million, $5,100,000 yesterday on Brian Boyle, a center, which is not addressing our defensive needs. However, at this point, there are not very many young defensemen out on the market. I'm not understanding this role player signing. I'm sure he can contribute. I think he's a trade deadline deal.
Yeah, he's 32.
I know what he's doing. Is it the smart move? Probably. You just got the first overall pick. You don't want to spend your money unless you see something. You don't want to speculate that this team is good enough where we're going to just spend. I get it. But I got to tell you, Shorts Guy, as a fan, I want them to waste some money. I want them to give me that feeling, that false hope at least, that, hey, we're gonna try to make that playoff spot. But, the pundits will say, well, hey, you got the first overall pick. That's great. We got Nico. And they're promoting the heck out of Nico. But let me tell you something, Shorts Guy. You got Nico because you were that bad last year.
Yeah.
You didn't get Nico because you did some kind of, maneuvering. If you got Nico because you did a shrewd trade and suddenly you move up 29 spots in the draft, yeah, I can see that being, a great move. You got Nico because you got lucky in a draft lot, I mean, that's just gambling at that point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought he was going to spend some money. There are Kovalchuk rumors all over the place. I don't know which ones to believe.
Oh, I just heard a new one tonight.
Oh, tell me, George guy.
I heard one that he may be in talks to stay in the KHL.
He's not going to come back. I mean, Roger Vincent just wrote in the Facebook group, the free agent class this year was very weak. I'm thinking they make trades with cap-strapped teams just like they just did with Johansson. Agreed. I think it's been a weak draft. It's a weak free agency. I think teams are smart enough to lock up their players and drive up the prices like what the Edmonton Oilers did with Connor McDavid. That much money? I mean, what are the Islanders going to do with Tavares?
You're going to see a lot of teams either lock up or trade players after McDavid gets signed for 13.5?
Oh, I don't know. It's maybe it's no. Is that in Canadian or U.S. dollars? I don't know, but that's still a lot of money.
That's a ton of money, and really, what that really sticks it to all the teams who decided to wait out a player until after on this past season, and now all those players are looking at 13.5 as the benchmark.
Yeah,
well, so that's a high benchmark too.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I set our podcast at only 15 minutes or something, so it's going to end somewhere. I'm going to try to.
You better reset that, Sam.
I don't think I can.
Oh.
I don't think we can. I don't think we're going to have phone lines today either.
60 seconds.
Well, that's not good. I don't know what to do right now. Why don't we just shut it down? How about we shut it down?
Why don't we restart it? We've got another 45 minutes left to go.
Yeah, it just takes too much effort. I just unplugged the phones. Some of the comments, a lot of comments in the Facebook group. Dave says, if he stays in the KHL, he'll never come back. No way Putin gives him a 1-year deal. Russell, he writes, the marks of our trade and Toronto hiring Lou brought Marcus to New Jersey. Roger writes, I blame the sponsors. Yeah, well, I blame Wolverine because he hasn't eaten the premium sausage. Now, that's an inside story, inside joke. But yeah, so, getting back, I got to end this episode. That's really a shame. You see, this is what happens when you do a rush job for a Sunday night podcast. You're not exactly prepared. Are you still there, Shorts Guy, or are you getting bored?
No, I'm still here. I'm not leaving.
Yeah, so Ray Shero is not spending money. He's obviously not spending money. I don't know what, I mean, the whole Shattenkirk, I mean, what did they have to lose? If you know that you're not spending money, and I'm purely speculating here, if you know that you're not spending money, and you're trying to jack up the price, which I think we all knew he was going to the Rangers.
He grew up a Ranger fan. Why would, if he has the chance to go there, why wouldn't he? So we were not getting him no matter what. Yeah. So I wonder how this conversation. Let's just imagine for 1 second, Shorts Guy, how this conversation was. Now, do you want to play the role of Shattenkirk and I play the role of Ray Shero?
Yeah, sure. All right. So let's see if we can get some sound effects. So see if this picks up and the mic picks up. So okay. So just imagine this: Shattenkirk, walks into Ray's office. Well, they probably met. Did they meet? Well, anyway, they could have done this by phone. Well, anyway, so let's pretend. So he's going to the Prudential Center, knocks on the door. Hey, Schattenberg, how you doing? Why don't you come into my office? We got lots of money to spend in this off season.
I'm a Ranger fan.
Oh, I know. But hey, man, we got lots of money in the office. You could come over to the dark side across the river. How about $8 million for 6 years? What do you think?
No.
All right, we're not going to spend any money. See you later.
If there was a conversation, that must have been the extent of it. It would have been great to see us drive the price up just to kind of hammer it to the Rangers. But it seems like that there's no dislike between owners and GMs, and they refuse to do that to each other. There's some unspoken rule. Like they won't even tend offer sheets to RFAs to drive up the price on some of these guys because they're all afraid to step on each other's toes.
There was only one guy that did that. That was Bobby Clark. Remember against Vancouver?
Yeah.
I believe, who was it? Was it Kessler? Ryan Kessler? I think he did it. He's just like, well, that rule's in place. But you're right. There's a code there.
Yeah, there's an unspoken code, and they refuse to break that code.
Yeah. So, with all the crap that you just read on the internet about that whole thing, it's like I go with my gut instinct. It's like I'm reading like, hey, he's meeting with Ray. Hey, the Devils are going to be spending money. Even Ray said he's spending money. Did you really believe that? I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it 1 second.
But what are these, these meetings? I would love to see these meetings. Like, are they phone meetings? Are they in-person meetings? Like, what are they? I would love to know.
I'd like to know what it's like to, back in the day, negotiate with Lou Lamoriello.
It's probably like talking to a wall.
Yeah. Hey,
a wall that slid a piece of paper across the desk and let you read it and just stared at you.
I can't imagine that Kovalchuk contract that Lou pulled off, a few years ago.
I still don't. That was not him. Yeah. That was ownership that wanted it badly and forced his hand in doing it.
So ownership's like, okay, Ilya, this is Jeff Vanderbeek ownership, right? Ownership's like, here, you take this. I want 17 years front-loaded money in U.S. dollars, no rubles. I play till 44. Okay. And then the Devils got penalized and this and that, whatever. So, anyway, get back to the topic at hand. One free agent, Brian Boyle, comes to the New Jersey Devils. What is he going to contribute? I don't know. Another center.
He's a center. We don't need help on offense.
Is he a third-line center? Is he a fourth-line? I mean, I like him as a player. Don't get me wrong. I just don't understand this other than, hey, he's trade bait. Somebody's going to take him. Kind of Lee Stepniak. Remember that acquisition?
Yeah, but I'm tired of being I'm tired of being a trading team at the deadline. I want to be a buying team at the deadline. When you're a buying team, that means you're almost going to do something.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Remember at one point you kept chanting 3 points out?
You remember those podcasts?
I do remember those podcasts, Sam. And at that point, if you're 3 points out and almost at the trade deadline, you're a buyer. If you're 3 points out and you're a seller at the trade deadline, then you've got bad ownership and bad management.
I do remember that, and then it went from we are 3 points out to me wearing a Mickey Mouse costume.
Yeah, going back to the old days of the 80s.
Yeah, but that's how I felt. That's how we express ourselves here on the Let's Go Devils podcast, brought to you by Molnar Roofing. Sorry, we're not really taking calls today because the Bobby's Auto Care hotline, I screwed it up. I only set it for 15 minutes before. Anyway, so I'm here with Shorts Guy. Beer Baron is on assignment right now. My name is Sam Wu. Talking Devils hockey. We're talking about the free agent frenzy that never was.
It was. I was listening to the radio for a few hours yesterday, and that the free agent quote unquote frenzy was nothing. Was no frenzy.
It was a dud, wasn't it?
The majority of within the first half hour, the majority of a lot of the signings were goaltenders.
Well, I thought the most exciting part was like during the expansion draft. You know, you're talking about a couple weeks ago, and then
I missed that.
Draft.
I couldn't watch that. I missed that. I mean, that was that's a once in a rare event where you're adding a team and they're essentially poaching players from a list. And, you got this whole new team that's going to, be introduced. So that was, I wish I could have been able to watch it, basically, is what I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I don't know, man. I mean, if you're not going to do anything and just hold on to Nico, the kid's not going to do it all.
He can't.
He can't. There's so many holes on this team. And
defense.
The defense, I mean, they're going to have to make a trade. You give up a decent defenseman to bring in Taylor Hall. I get it. But what did you replace him with? Ben Lovejoy?
Well, and you know what? I think that Larson needed to go in order to get a new start somewhere.
Well, yeah, I think he needed to go, but I mean, come on,
But they never replaced him. You're right. That was
him.
The problem. They never found a suitable replacement.
There was a big hole on defense. I mean, part of it, I thought Corey didn't play particularly well. He was average.
No, that's true. He didn't have a phenomenal season.
I thought the first 6 weeks of last year, I mean, I'm noticing a pattern with the Devils last few years.
What's that?
There's some hope by November, and then it just
falls apart
after the season ticket renewals come out.
They used to fall apart. They used to have a slump in February.
Yeah. Yep.
There was always a February slump. However, I know you're talking about, around that season ticket renewal window, everything seems to go well until they get those deposits in.
Exactly. Now, we're just kidding around a little bit, but it just seems like there's always a coincidence when that happens. As soon as, I dread when they send the renewals, to be honest with you, because I'm like, again, I can't go another year without going in the playoffs.
Well, that's the thing. The product on the ice has not been phenomenal, so it becomes harder to want to renew when they ask you. Really what they have to do is they really have to start signing some solid players and they really need to put a good solid season, first half of the season together, because they haven't done it in a while.
Well, let me tell you that one of the things that my rep said was, hey, if you renew early, you'll be able to do Scoro and shoot, one chance to shoot, that puck, and there's a chance I could get my season tickets for free, right?
Yeah.
And like an idiot every single year, oh yeah, that's great, sign me up, right?
Yeah, but it's not like you're not going to sign up anyway.
Yeah, I know, but this is what happened. So, the one day that they have that, can't go.
Of course.
It always happens like that. Not to the fault of the New Jersey Devils, but it's just, I've never done Scoro. I've never done Scoro. Back in the old Meadowlands, I used to stuff that box. I used to take some of those entry forms. I would fill out 500 of them and stuff the ballot box, and they still wouldn't come after. me in my seat to do it.
They were onto you. They were onto you, Sam.
Yeah. They're probably like, oh, this guy in section 218.
Oh, we were pretty notorious back then.
Yeah. And then they're probably like, hey, Ranger fan, put this Devils jersey on and just do it. We don't want this guy in 218 doing it. Although it would be fun. I already have my my thing. Jordan writes, same number, Sam Wu? Well, there's a little problem today, Jordan. We were early in the podcast. I set the timer to 15 minutes instead of an hour podcast. So right now we don't have the Bobby's Auto Care hotline. But if you still feel the need to just dial, it's 323-870-3871. We're not connected today's podcast. Unfortunately, that's my fault. I can't blame the Devils on this one. We were hearing the countdown that the phone lines weren't working. I'm really sorry about that. We have other people joining in the Facebook Live. We're also on Twitter, Periscope, at Let's Go Pod. We're also streaming live on YouTube Live. We're expanding. We have talks of doing Instagram Live very soon. Are you on Instagram, Shorts Guy? Do you ever use that?
I am, yes.
Well, not that I'm a big Instagram user, but why not? Why alienate our Instagram Devils fans, right? I follow the Devil's Wheels on Instagram. Pretty big thing, you know. Jeep has its own. It has its own Instagram account. How
he's doing. That's pretty awesome. I'm still waiting for my for my ride in that Jeep.
Do you know who deserves a Twitter account?
Who?
The New Jersey Devils bank account. I want to know what it's saying right now. Guys, you got to release me. You got to spend some money here. I'm holding too much cash right now. I want you guys to spend above the salary cap floor.
Yeah, they won't do that.
Yeah.
However, they could surprise us.
Well, you never know. I mean, could they take on a big contract? Start fishing some teams that need some salary cap help. I mean, it is leverage when you're doing trades. When you have that much room in salary cap space.
What is it, 25 million?
Something like that. 25, 27. I'm not sure. All I know is that's literally 2 Connor McDavids.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now. Ooh, Maple Leafs had none.
What's that?
We are okay. So we're not the most. We have $20.3 million in cap space.
Who has the most?
The Coyotes, but it's only by like $750,000.
Well, I think that Brian Boyle signing, that big wallet that Ray Shero was opening up, probably put us from 31st to 30th.
And actually, underneath us is Nashville.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they may have some contracts that they may need to sign. We don't know that. I'm sure we can look it up if we did our research and homework.
Yeah.
I think Mike Fisher, is he going to stay? That's like, what, $5 million there?
We forgot to talk about the other two. The Devils did do two other pieces of business.
Go ahead.
In the last couple days. Let's not let's not gloss over the fact that they got rid of Camilleri. Gone. He went to L.A. That opens up Nico's number 13.
Yep.
And we also got rid of Devontae Smith-Pelly, which that surprised me. I thought he did well for us as a role player.
I liked him too. I didn't know if it was a locker room thing, and I don't know. I mean, I'm just speculating. When you see moves like these, you're kind of scratching your head. We don't know, but it's one of these things where, again, Are you going to spend any money? I mean, I don't know. I like to be like in the middle of the packet at the very least, like 14th in the league, but near dead last. I don't know.
But we can't even say we finished dead last because we didn't finish dead last. We just happened to get the first overall pick in the draft, but we finished close enough to last.
Yeah, well, Shorts guy, I think it's going to be another long season. I mean, I'm excited. First overall pick is on the New Jersey Devils. But I don't know. I'm just... Now, what would have been exciting if the Devils did sign Kovalchuk and that line of Nico, Taylor Hall, and Kovalchuk, and the name for that line is number 1. All of them, first overall picks.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been something?
That would be cool.
That would have been really cool. I mean, could you imagine the marketing the Devils could have done? They could have milked that. Number 1. That's it.
You know what, though? I feel like the days of naming lines has gone away.
Really? You
yeah.
think so? Do you not like it, or are you just saying?
No. I thought it was awesome, but it just, I don't know. I feel like there hasn't been a really good named line in a while. But then again, we haven't had a really good, consistent line to name. Nothing beats the crash line, however. That's still the top line.
Yeah, I saw a tweet from the Devils Insiders guys about naming a line. I forgot what it was the WB Nosen line. I don't get it. I didn't get the joke. I'm sorry, Dave. I didn't get the joke. Did you see that tweet? I didn't see that.
Nah, I didn't. I don't go on Twitter much anymore.
No? Do you still have a Twitter account?
I do.
Yeah. Oh, so why don't you explain how you met Nico at the Red Bulls game?
Yeah. So, I had to run back in the Red Bull Arena to grab one of my club's banners. And I decided to do this real quick, be in and out, no problem. And as I'm in the arena, underneath the stands, running out to field level where we keep our stuff for match day, I look to my left, and all of a sudden, there's Nico checking out the field. And it was part of the whole promo thing.
Did you just like recognize him right away, or it was?
Oh, totally.
Wow,
recognized him right away. He had a Devil's hat on, but recognized him right away. So when I saw him, I looked at him and I was like, "Hey, Nico, what's up? Welcome to New Jersey." Shook his hand, and he was a very, very nice guy. Said thank you, and he, he went and they brought him out on the field. They had him on the grass, which you're not supposed to be on the grass. We get yelled at all the time. And I was about to turn around and leave, and I was like, "Hey, how many times am I going to get to, see the first overall pick?" And I hung around and I got a picture with the guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a real nice guy. You could tell he kind of looked a little overwhelmed, only because they had him. It was in Chicago the night before, and here he is in New Jersey. I think it was only like 11:30 in the morning. So I'm sure the guy didn't get a lot of sleep. He kind of looked a little, like I said, a little overwhelmed in a good way. But real nice guy. Had an entourage of people with him. It must have been family. It was a really cool experience, and just happened to be one of those right place, right time. Happened to go back into the arena, and there he was. It was pretty cool.
That's great. And then we posted the picture on Twitter, and on the Let's Go Devils Facebook group of you and Nico. It was really cool because we were just talking about him on the podcast on Friday night, and here comes Saturday, and you send that picture. I'm like, are you kidding me? We were just talking to him at the Let's Go Devils podcast, and then, I have to ask you, didn't you plug Did you say, Nico, I have this podcast and I talked about you? No.
No, I didn't. I just welcomed him to New Jersey, and that's pretty much. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, so I didn't want to. I didn't want to come across as
like a crazy.
Yeah.
Get it? Crazy.
Yeah. I just and I just thought that was a perfect opportunity to just say, hey, welcome.
Hey, you did a great job. These athletes, I mean, they're human beings too. And it's overwhelming. You're in a foreign country. You just got drafted first overall. You're at a Red Bulls game out of nowhere the next day, not even 24 hours. And you're meeting new people. You're in a different, like, New Jersey's already different as it is. Did the right thing. I mean, these guys, they do it over. It's like rinse and repeat over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's nice to hear that you had a good experience.
Yeah, totally.
And then you get these, like, morons, I like to say. Complete morons. They're like, oh, he's a jerk. Why not? He didn't sign my hat. You know what I mean? And then you get these really moronic fans. You know that they're just there just putting stuff on eBay.
Yeah.
And they come with like 15 shirts and they want this one guy to sign it and you're just kind of like, dude, stop it. Can you make it any more obvious?
Well, that was like when the Devils used to do the old equipment sale. You'd have I would go there trying to find a decent pair of gloves or a stick that I could use or whatever. But then you'd have these people just going in there and like indiscriminately like scooping up armfuls of sticks just to chuck them on eBay and resell them.
You know what I really can't stand? See, now we're getting off topic because I ran out of material of the
we can't get off topic,
Oh,
Sam.
no. We're going to get off a little topic. No, but it's Devils related, though, so that's good. You know what I can't stand are the one-upper Devils fans. You know the ones that, like, have, like, 15,000 autographs on the crest of the logo, and it's like, it's like, and then you maybe have one autograph and you're like, yeah, I've got Scott Stevens. Well, I got one too. It's right here 4 times. I can't stand that. I can't stand one-uppers in general, but one-upper Devils fans, it's like, oh, I met Scott Stevens. Yeah, I met him too. Oh, yeah, and then they start showing you pictures and this and that or whatever. It's like, yeah. Oh, you know, Marty Brodeur sat next to us on the train. Wow. All right.
Great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, yeah. Can't beat that. Can't beat that.
So, all right. So let's put this train back on the rails here. What do you think that the Devils should go for? I'm thinking defense, but do you disagree? Agree? What are your thoughts here, Sam?
Well, I think they need to get some defense back there, but it all depends. Is the tank in or is the tank not in? Is it, you know, this is what I'm looking at here.
All right, let's hear it.
This is what I'm looking at here. And I'm just being honest.
Yep.
I look at the track history of Ray Shero, but I also look at the track history of this ownership. And the only track history I really have of this ownership, aside from the New Jersey Devils when they took over, is the Philadelphia 76ers. Every year, it's almost like they're tanking. Every single year. They get these, you know, they have all these analytics. The only analytics to me that makes sense is called wins. And I know that sounds really bullheaded and stupid, but I want winners. I want winners. I want high-paid winners. People guys that have won before, you know. But, again, here we go again. I just don't like being teased, especially when your GM says we're going to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, no, you know what? That breeds mediocrity. And when you've got a culture of mediocrity, it just ends up being no good at all. And we don't want that. I mean, the Devils are 3-time Stanley Cup champions, not too far removed, 2003. And their track record with the 76ers is not good.
It's not good at all.
76ers are consistently awful. I heard somewhere that something like teams hated when the 76ers came to town because no one wanted to go to those games. Like when your team is that bad that you're affecting ticket sales in other markets, that's not good. And it's just been a culture of losing and mediocrity there in Philly.
I know.
It's awful.
And that's what I'm looking at. So when I look at the track, but the only thing that gives me hope are two things. Number one, say what you want, Ray Shero won a cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins, right?
Yeah. And
then, if you could be the guy that says, whoa, anybody can win a cup with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and Letang and, And then the other thing that gives me hope, and we had him on the program on the Let's Go Devils podcast.
Yeah.
Bill Clement.
Yeah.
He swears by Ray Shero. I talked to him the other day. He still swears by Ray Shero. But at the same time, I still wonder who controls that bank account. Is Shero allowed to spend, or is he being smart about the money?
Or is he being restricted from spending it?
Yeah. Those are kind of, question. I'm a little bit, I'm a big sports fan, but I like the behind the scenes stuff. Like what really goes on. Does ownership get Ray, you don't spend more than the floor till you show me winning. I didn't realize that I put my Kovalchuk voice. That's the owners, but but you get what I'm trying to say.
I get what you're trying to say, and it's my other top team, the Red Bulls. They don't spend either, and it's frustrating all year long for me because I want to see both my teams do really well. I want to see both my teams succeed. I want to see both my teams win a championship, and you have to spend money. You really do have to spend some money to win a championship, and neither team has done a lot of that recently.
Yeah,
but it's the Devils have not always been a top spender. They have been always historically a very frugal team, but they were also very successful as a frugal team. Now they're trying to be a frugal team that's not successful.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, back when the Devils were winning cups, that 2003 team, Lou did spend some money. The only problem with that was the Rangers would spend like an ungodly amount because there was no salary cap back then.
Yeah.
That I think Lou maybe spent like $52 million, but the Rangers were like at $96 million. And they were losing. And they were taking all the top talent and just ruining their careers, in their organization.
Yeah.
And then that had to stop, and that's why there was a year-long lockout.
And there's got to be a happy medium, and you can't do that example with the Rangers where you're spending gobs of money and you're not getting anywhere, because then you're going to say that your team's overspending and failing. But you've got to spend money to make money. That's that old business adage.
Well,
and it rings true.
You know what? I have this philosophy. If I ever owned the Devils, right?
Yeah.
I would not. Sports is one of those things, especially in New Jersey. Sports is one of those things where you can't really run it like a business to be successful. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because it's all about branding. Sports fans, in particular, want to see action. That's why we're talking right now. That's why I was talking about spending money. And I'll give one example. The Philadelphia Flyers, the enemy, right?
Yeah.
That owner, or now he's just passed on, Ed Snyder, he didn't run it like a business, in my eyes. He ran it with passion. And the business took care of itself.
And that's what happens when your ownership is not local. That's what happens when your ownership is not a fan of the team first.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I'm all about, transplants and, kind of like coming over to the dark side. But you have two guys. Now, granted, they rescued the team out of bankruptcy. I mean,
yeah.
So we give them that much credit. But you got one Philly guy and a guy in Scotch Plains that grew up a Rangers fan. It's quite obvious, right? So it's really not the same. And that's why there's all these focus group meetings all the time. It's like, you still don't know your fan base yet. You still don't know your fan base.
But
and I'm not going
they're also not hearing it directly. They're hiring people to listen to you to weed out things. And there's no great. And so they're going to read those answers on a piece of paper, passionless answers, black and white. That's the problem.
I think, and it all starts from the top. Again, this is not a criticism in terms of, well, you're not a real fan, but it kind of, I don't know, are they really fans? I've sat in section 19. I've sat. If I saw that losing, I'd be yelling, screaming in the owner's box. That's just me. That's just being a fan. Now, granted, being an owner, you're held to a higher standard. You can't be like swearing. You can't be like a Mark Cuban. Granted, I will give these owners credit. They seem like they roll with class. They don't get in trouble. You know what I mean? But
what? There are no rules that say you can't be a passionate owner. No, but they can. I'll admit they conduct themselves in a professional manner. They do. But at the same time, sometimes I kind of want to see the owner get pissed off every once in a while. Like the jelly throwing incident.
Yeah.
That was Lou as a GM, but still.
I mean, can you imagine if Joshua Harris and David Blitzer sit in the owner's box, down in the penalty box, like they have got this little thing, and they're losing 5-0 to the Rangers. Now, I did read, I think, this past season that I believe Joshua Harris was really pissed, and I think I read it in NJ.com or whatever. But I want to, sometimes I want to see him, throw something, show that you care. Is it right? Is it politically correct? No. But it has meaning. It has meaning that, hey, I'm with you with the fans. I'm frustrated too. And I got to pay the bills.
Do they do this stuff in Philly with the Sixers?
I don't even know too much. I'll have to ask. But I don't know what they do in Philly. I really don't. But I just want to see somebody get angry. Remember when Larry Robinson, during the playoffs, when the Devils were down 3-1 against the Flyers in Eastern Conference Finals, what did he do? He went on a tirade, the Robinson tirade. It's legendary. Yeah. I want to see that out of ownership.
You know what else is legendary?
What's that?
Robbie Ftorek throwing a bench on
Yes. And guess what? Eventually, they won 2 cups out of it. He may have not been coach, but those are turning points that you look to as a fan. There's no analytics that backs it up, but that's the part of the game.
No, because you can't analyze passion. You cannot analyze passion.
You can't, but I think you should lead with it when it comes to sports and sports business. But then again, what do I know? I've never owned a team. I just look at what George Steinbrenner did in New York, with the New York Yankees. That's passion. He always spent money every year. Very successful. He was a very shrewd businessman. They built a new stadium. I mean, the rest is history, right? I love to see that passion. That owner that just doesn't care, and he just starts yelling and screaming and this and that and high-fiving fans. Now, granted, you can't change someone's personality to do that.
That's true.
But I like to see a little anger. I like to see a little passion. Just a little.
Step out of the owner's box, legitimately. Don't just do it to save face and oh, look at me, I come hang out with the fans. Like, do it for real.
Yeah. Or if you don't, if you think we're a bunch of deplorables, just at least hang out with somebody.
Yeah.
Just hang out with somebody. You don't have to be sociable, but just show me something that, this is unacceptable and I am pissed off. Just don't look at the bottom line for about a minute and just say something. Have in the press conference or something like that and say, this is unacceptable. Put Ray on the hot seat or something. At least I'm like, accountability.
Because there's no media pressure in New Jersey. There's absolutely no media pressure in New Jersey to do good or, when the team is being mediocre. There's no one that'll call them out because it's such an oversaturated market that the Devils are not going to. Let's face it, when it comes to airtime on local sports or in local newspapers or in local sports radio, talking Devils hockey is not going to get people tuning in or buying newspapers.
Yeah,
that's just the unfortunate reality.
What the thing is? Can you imagine if this market was like the New Jersey market was just like Toronto? I mean, I don't know if these guys can really handle even Devils fans on Twitter, let alone a media like a mass media market.
Yeah, or Montreal.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just a different animal up there. I mean, you go in Montreal and you walk down the street. If you mention hockey, it's like they don't shut up for a half an hour.
I was just up there at the beginning of June. Everywhere you turn is Canadian stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's Canadian stuff hanging in every single store. They even still sell Expos gear because they can't get over that breakup.
I know.
They're amazing. Nuts about their teams. But again, how many teams are in Montreal? How many hockey teams?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the other part. It is a saturated market because you look at Philadelphia. The one thing I'll say, hey, they got passionate fans, but then again, they got one team for each sport. Unlike like this area, you got 3 for hockey. Could have been 4 when the Whalers were there if you want to put Connecticut in the mix. And then you got 2 football teams that don't even play in the state, in New York.
Yeah.
And Buffalo doesn't count as New York.
No, we're talking the local New York City area.
The local tri-state, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have 2 basketball teams.
Yep.
And 2 baseball teams. It's saturated.
3 soccer teams.
3. Which ones?
Red Bulls, City, and Cosmos.
That's right.
That's
my bad.
12 professional teams. And then you also have the New York Liberty, which would be 13.
What about was it the New York Rivets? The female hockey team?
Oh, the Riveters. Yeah, that's 14.
We should go to a Riveters game.
I have friends that are involved in the Riveters supporter group.
You know what? We should go. We should do a Let's Go Devils podcast outside,
right,
and then go. I'll tell you the reason why. Because I read one of the players, I guess, works in Albany.
Okay.
And actually drives from Albany to go to practice down at Prudential Center in the I don't know, what is it, the Barnabas House? I don't even know what it is.
Yeah. Oh, they practice at the practice right there?
Yeah, they practice, and then she goes home. He just goes home and then goes to work the next day.
That's dedication, man.
That's passion. See, I don't know anything about the Riveters. I really don't.
But now you want to know.
But now I want to know. So if I was going to end this podcast on a positive note, Shorts Guy, and one thing we learned, lead with passion. That is your marketing strategy right there. Let's start from the right there. lead with passion, and see what happens.
I've known this for the last 6 years, Sam.
Yeah. But still. Oh, by the way, Bobby from Bobby's Auto Care has joined the Facebook group.
Hey, there we go, Bobby.
Yay, Bobby. We got to tell you something. I screwed up the Bobby's Auto Care hotline. And I'm sorry, but I will still invoice you anyway for sponsoring our Let's Go Devils podcast. Also brought to you by Molnar Roofing. We're still on vacation, right?
No, I think the Molnars are home. I really do. But it was, like I said before, it was great to crash their party.
Next year, Shorts Guy, we should do a Let's Go Devils podcast from Wildwood, live from Durango Steve's resort somewhere in beautiful Wildwood, New Jersey. And
I can absolutely set it up that we do a podcast from Wildwood. For real, it can be set up, Sam. I've got the location to go.
All right, well, let's do that. So, anyway, we got a few minutes left on the podcast. We want to thank everybody for joining in from Facebook Live, from Periscope, YouTube Live. We want to thank the sponsors, Bobby's Auto Care and Molnar Roofing for sponsoring the show, making it happen, paying that invoice on time, even though they probably dispute, hey, Bobby's Auto Care hotline wasn't working. Well, it's not our problem. We just won't make that mistake next time. But,
exactly.
But we also
put that on the list.
I also want to thank you, the fans, for listening in. We are growing right now. Over the summer, we are going to be trying different things. But when it comes to opening night, October 7th, down at the Prudential Center, we will be back in full force. A very innovative podcast. Whoops. I think I knocked something over. Can you still hear me? Yeah, I'm still.
All right. Yep, you're good.
And we will make this part of your life, because that's what we do, right?
That's what we do, exactly.
All right.
It will be the Top Devils podcast.
It will be the Top Devils podcast, and then one day we'll be rock stars.
Yeah, let's just own the team.
Yeah. One day we will make so much money off of this podcast, we will own the team.
There we go. I'm down.
So we'd like to thank everybody. I'm queuing up the music right now. Am I doing a better job fading this in? Can you hear it?
Yes, you are.
All right. So we'd like to thank everybody once again, all the fans that are listening to our podcast. I'd like to thank Bobby's Auto Care, Molnar Roofing. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast. Till next Sunday at 9 p.m., let's go Devils.
And happy Independence Day.